Hello kids, good morning. Welcome back to your English lesson. Are you ready to start? First, let's meet the teacher's helper of the day. Let's look at the picture. Can you guess who she is? She is Sarah. Hello Sarah. You are going to be the teacher's helper of the day, alright? First, can you help me? What day is today? Yesterday was Monday, so today is very good, Sarah. Today is Tuesday. To start this lesson, let's practice our tongue twister. Watch the following video, please.
Hungry Hallie happily had hamburgers.
Let's start our class activities by working on the English skills section of our book. Today we are going to end the lesson a visit to the fire station. We have to create our own story by using silly words. Let's look at the following picture. What are you going to do with those words? You are going to go to page 55 and pick words from the vocabulary bank to create a new story. Let me show you the picture one more time. Make sure you pause your video and complete your story, okay? Could you do it? I bet your story is very funny. Now that you're ready, please pause your video here, take a break, and I will see you in a minute, alright? Welcome back, kids. Now, let's continue to the class activities. Let's work on the language section of our book. I have a question to ask. Mikel, do you know what a verb is? A verb are action words. And these words help us express things that we usually do. Today we are going to review some of these verbs and how do we use them, okay? Are you ready? First, we are going to start with the present tense. As Mikel said, those are words that help us express the things that we usually do. And depending on who we are talking about, they are graded differently. Are you ready? For example, I teach English. Let's look at another example. He plays video games. She sleeps all day. They sleep all day. Can you find the difference on the action word? Let's read a little bit more about this on your English book on page 83. There are many ways we can use verbs. Let's review the present tense, past tense, and the present progressive tense. As I said before, we are going to work on the present tense. We already told that verbs are action words. Remember that verbs in the present tense express something we usually do. For the pronouns he, she, and it, we add an s to the end of the verb. For pronouns I, we, you, and they, the verb stays the same. Here you have the examples. Why don't you pick 3 examples and represent them with a picture blank pages section of your book. Now you have to use the verbs in the word bank to fill in the blanks. Remember to add an S to the end of the verb of the pronouns he, she, and it. We have the verbs raise, look, count, walk, and love. Let me highlight the pronouns for you. He, Mary, it, they, and can. I can. Remember that Mary is one person, she. Let's make the first one together. He to school every day. He look to school or he walks to school. Very good. He walks. Remember that we add the S at the end because we are talking about a third person, all right? Why don't you complete the rest of the sentences on your own? Now, let's talk about the verb to be. It tells us what or who something or someone is. And we can express it in 3 different ways. I am an English teacher. You are students. He is a boy. She is a girl. So we have 3 words that help us explain the verb to be. Aim, are, and is. I am, you are, she and he is. Now, let's look at our book on page 84 for more examples, all right? Verb tenses review. The verb to be tell us who or what someone or something is. We already talked that on our video. Over here we have the chart. I am, he is, she is, it is, you are, we are, and they are. Here we have our activity. Color the circle that corresponds to the correct form of the verb. Then write it in the box. Look at the example. You are so lucky. Why don't we do the first one together? This flower, so beautiful. Remember that flower is it. So the correct word is. This flower is so beautiful. So you color and you write the word, all right? Look at the words that you have at the beginning of the sentences and complete the rest on your own. Now, how to ask a question using the verb to be? That is very easy. Are you students? Am I a teacher? Is she a girl? Pay attention, the only thing that we did was to change 2 words. Let's look at page 85 for more examples. Use the verb to be, aim, is, or are before the pronoun to ask questions. Here's the example. She is a teacher. Is she a teacher? Here we have to rewrite each sentence as a question. Let me mark for you the pronoun and the verb to be. The yellow are the pronouns. And the pink ones are the verb to be word. So you have to make sure to write first the verb to be and then the pronoun and end it with a question mark to create a question, all right? Follow the colored pattern so you can create your questions. Also remember that using the word not after the verb to be expresses its negative form. Are they at home? No, they are not at home. Let's look at the questions in the negative form. I'm going to help you with the first one. Are we finished? Remember that to make that a sentence, we have to identify the pronoun, write it first, then the verb to be, and write it second, and then add the not. And complete it with the object of the sentence. So your final answer should look like this. We are not finished. Make sure you complete question number 2 on your own. Now, make sure you pause your video here. Take another break and I will see you in a minute, all right? Okay, kids, let's continue. Let's go to the STEAM section of our book. Are you ready? Today we are going to work with the topic, how much sunlight? When we have the information organized on a table, it's easier for us to understand what do we have to do. How much sunlight? We are going to read and learn how to use a table to get information. We know that the amount of sunlight changes with each season. How does sunlight change each month? Let's look at the table to find out the amount of sunlight in the city of San Francisco, California. On the left side of your table, we have the months of the year. And on the right side of it, we have the amount of sunlight. 9 hours on January, 10 hours on February, and so on. Let's look at an example. Put your finger on January. Move your finger across to the right. What number is across from January? 9. This means there are 9 hours of sunlight each day in January. Remember, we have the month and the amount of sunlight per day. Let's go to page 147 and keep practicing how to take out information from a table. It says, look at the table on the previous page. Answer the following questions. What month has the most sunlight? Remember that most means more. So, Kika, is it June with 14 hours or December with 9 hours? Make sure you write the correct answer on the provided space. Let's look at question number 2. Which months have the least amount of sunlight? Remember, the least means less, a little bit. So, is it July and June or January, December and November? Make sure you look at the amount of sunlight and select the correct answer. Let's look at number 3, Abdiel. How much sunlight does March have? Make sure you put your finger on March section and drag it to the right side of the table. Is it 11 or 10 hours of sunlight? Very good. Let's look at question number 4. Which months have 10 hours of sunlight, Sarah? Can you look at them? Is it November and December or October and February? Now, why don't you complete the rest of the questions on your own? I know you can do it. Was it easy or hard? What other kind of information could you put on a table? How many toys do you have? What type of clothing do you have? How many books do you have? There is a lot of ways in which we can use a table. Now, make sure you pause your video here and take a break. I will see you in a minute, all right? Okay, kids. Before we go, we are going to practice the tongue twister again. Are you ready?
Hungry Hallie happily had hamburgers.
Remember, you can challenge your mom or dad to repeat it with you, okay? Now, this is the end of our lesson. I hope you had a great time. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!